I almost forgot I was going to get that phone call. That was my doctor. I made an appointment with her yesterday because I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping. I've been having a lot of trouble with my sleep for a long time, for a very long time. And I talked to a buddy of mine who's a doctor, and he's a sleep doctor, and he suggested I go to a sleep clinic or something like that. And so I talked to my doctor about that just now, and she said, "Well, let's try out a couple of things first and see how it goes. Maybe take like a melatonin supplement. Maybe try to make sure that you're doing absolutely nothing that is of high levels of energy uh, inducing types of activities. So like playing some of the video games that I do late at night, or watching shows that are action packed or anything like that." She suggested I don't do anything like that at all. Do things that are super boring. Uh, about an hour before bed. Um, Try that. Try making sure that, yeah, I could take some melatonin if I want. I think I'll try like the other sleep hygiene type of stuff first before I take a supplement, and see if that makes any difference. And then every single night I wake up in the middle of the night, 2, 3, 4 hours go by, and I have to, I gotta go pee. And then I'm trying to go back to sleep and it's not happening. So she suggested, rather than going right back to bed, maybe um, just do something that's super boring for a little while. Um, so yeah, so we'll see. Try those few things, see what happens, um, and then I'll take it from there. She also suggests I do some blood work because I was found to be vitamin D insufficient a while back. It's like, she said 2017, so 5 years ago, a little over 4 years ago. And yeah, so she wants to test my vitamin D again, make sure I'm okay, and just do like regular blood work, make sure that I'm okay with everything. So that was the phone call was. That's what the phone call was all about. You may have also heard that my ringtone is PUBG. As I mentioned before, I'm a big fan of playing PUBG, so that's my ringtone. Anyways, I have no clue what I was even talking about before. I'm trying to remember, and I have absolutely no idea. Whatever, it's all good. That's kind of what this is all about. I mean, I wanted this to be completely unscripted. Last time I took a few notes as to some things that were on my mind that I thought would be good to talk about in one of these, but yeah, I didn't do that this time at all. I was just going with it, and I'm gonna just continue doing that for now. That's all I'm gonna do. Just talk about what's going on with me, talk about stuff I'm thinking, and you know, just make it unscripted. Maybe in the future it'll be something different, but for now, this is all I'm gonna do. Some other stuff that I'm big into is, I mean, I've been investing in crypto for a long time. It's been about 3 or 4 years, but the first, I would say, 2 years, it wasn't much. I mean, I was just kind of feeling it out. So just a little bit. Uh, Pretty much it was only Bitcoin and that was it. And then after after a couple years and I saw how things were changing around, I thought, okay, it'd be cool to put in a little bit more. So, I've been diversifying my portfolio of different cryptos quite a bit, and also learning so much more about it. And I find the idea behind crypto to be super interesting. So I've got like a little bit of Bitcoin, a little bit of Ethereum, a little bit of Polygon and Decentraland, Cardano, which I know a lot of people make fun of Cardano holders because absolutely nothing has been happening with it. That's fine. I'm just going to keep holding it anyways. Um, what else do I have? I have a little bit of Atom and a little bit of Ohm. Ohm is like super risky, I know, so I didn't put too much into it. So yeah, I just find it interesting, especially now that a lot more adoption is happening with Russia now making crypto legal, and India was going to completely ban crypto, and now they're taxing it. Now they're not going to ban it, and they're going to tax it heavily, but fine, that's still good. Obviously El Salvador making it legal tender. Turkey's wrestling with the idea. I know Panama is wrestling with that idea. Um, and it sounds like the US is going to be regulating it probably pretty soon. I think that, it seems as if right now all of the talking and everything going on between the regulatory bodies is all about really like who's going to get funding, because whoever comes up with a way to regulate it really well is going to be the organization that gets funding, and that's how you keep the organization alive, is through funding. If you don't get funding, well, you can no longer really do anything. So I think that's what the a lot of the talking is all about right now in the US. And the fact that Canada has a spot ETF on Bitcoin, which is huge. Like there's a lot of adoption going on right now that I think is interesting. A lot of big companies are getting into NFTs, which means in order to be able to purchase those NFTs, you have to purchase a crypto of some sort. You have to use a crypto to purchase an NFT. So, uh, excuse me, it's all pretty interesting. It's all really interesting. And it definitely seems like the world is making this change, and it's going to make this change one way or the other. So it's either the world comes on board with it or they don't. And it's looking more and more that the world is coming on board with it. Just need a huge, like Russia, the fact that, Russia is a huge country. The fact that Russia is making it legal, like that's a huge thing in itself. But once you get one of these G7 countries, I think then that's when you're going to see mass adoption really taking place. And if you look at the rate of adoption curve, I'm not sure if you're familiar with the rate of adoption curve with the internet. So as far as I understand, I could be a little bit wrong about this. It's possible, but as far as I remember from the research that I've done, it's not been like a crazy amount of research that I've done, but I've done it. I think a decent enough amount. So rate of adoption is obviously like how quickly the world population starts to adopt and use a particular technology. So you take something like the internet. So back in 1995, I believe, is when the internet was really just starting out. And the rate of adoption of the internet was, there were about 150 million users around the world that were using the internet for something, which isn't much if you think about the whole population. It's not a large part of the population, very small percentage. And at that time, once they got to about 150 million people using the internet, the curve, sort of the rate adoption curve in terms of how many, like what was the exponential growth of people using the internet, was about something like 60 some odd percent more. So 60% more. So if you took like 150 million people and you took 60% of that number, whatever that number is, then that's how many more people the next year started using the internet. And then it stayed at about 60%. I believe. I could be wrong about that, but I believe the rate of adoption curve stayed at about 60%, more or less until now. Maybe it was more, but I think it was at least 60% that started off as. Now, with crypto, it's at about 112% or something, 110% around there. So it's like almost double. The rate of adoption is almost double. It's almost twice as quick, it seems, so far. So that's interesting. That's definitely interesting. So I think there's something there. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I believe something's there. And I think that it's worth it for everybody to just, not, I don't think it makes sense to put too much into it and put all your hopes and dreams into it. But I think you should have like a little bit in crypto, just a bit, just a little bit would be a good idea, and just see what happens. Like 10% of your net worth, I think would be a good idea. Because I think the chances of, like, even if you lose 10% of your net worth for whatever reason, that's going to hurt, but it's not going to, you can get over it. You can get over it. And over time, it's not going to make a huge difference. But if something does happen with it, well, that'll make a massive difference in your life. So I believe it's the risk to reward, the reward is a lot higher than the risk, I believe. So it's worth it to take, a 10%, but even if you don't feel comfortable with 10%, 5%, 1%, just 1% of your net worth. If you're worth $1 million and you put 1%, if my math is correct, so, 10% of $1 million would be 100,000, right? So 1%, if my math is correct, maybe my math is wrong with this. So do correct me, because I'm doing the math off the top of my head, but I believe that would just be, like $10,000, right? I think that makes sense because it'd be 10% of 10%. It'd be like $10,000 for a millionaire. Like, that's nothing, right? If you have, like, let's say you only have your net worth at $100,000. So 1% would be $1,000, right? Or no, sorry. Yeah. Am I saying that? No, because then $1 million would be $10,000 would be 1%. Yeah, $10,000 would be one. Yeah, that's what I said before. Okay. I'm losing track of what I'm saying, man. I'm going crazy. Yeah. If you're a millionaire, then 10% is sorry, $10,000 is one. Now I gotta get a calculator. So you take $1 million, right? And you multiply that by 0.01. Yeah, it's $10,000. Yeah, I don't know why I had to double check this, but I had to. And then let's say your net worth is only $10,000, right? So that's $100, right? This should be $100 times 0.01, $100. Yeah, you put $100, put $100 into Bitcoin or Ethereum or something else. Like, if you lose $100, it's not really going to affect you. So you put 1% in. If you can put 10% of your net worth, I think that's way better, for sure. But if you put in 1%, it's really not, like, 1% is not going to affect you at all. It's going to make no difference in your life over the long term. So I think it's worth it to do, and it's interesting. So, and I enjoy keeping track of all the stuff that's happening with crypto. It's, again, things just to keep me busy in a productive way. Yeah, that's all. Yeah. So between all that stuff that's going on with me, my parents are going to get back soon. Parents will be back at the beginning of April, end of March, beginning of April. Pretty sure they said like April 1st, 2nd, around there. Yeah, pros and cons. It'll be nice to have them back. I won't be by myself here, but it'll also be a little more stressful in some ways. But I have to deal with it for now until I can figure all this stuff out. And then I can get on my own again. But I think it's still going to take a little bit more time. Tomorrow is an important day because I'm dropping the keys off to my previous condo, and I'm finalizing I don't even know if I should say it's a deal, but I'm finalizing all the details of everything that happened with the condo that I bought with the person I shouldn't have bought the condo with, let's just say. So, and then I'll be getting my share of that condo, which I definitely should be getting a lot more, but It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, got to just move on. And that's the thing, everything that's going on with me. There's really nothing else. That's it. Hopefully I get one view. I really hope I get one view. I really do. And thank you for sticking around for part 2 of this. If you watch this, again, I don't expect to see anybody watching these ever. And I might post one up again. I might not. I don't know. I guess we'll just see what happens. But it looks like I had the inclination to post another video. So here I am. 2 parts today because I got that phone call. And I'm going to go now. I'm done. I got nothing else to say. Nothing else going on that I can think of that's worth talking about. And I guess maybe until another time. Okay.